We're going to get a look at those year-over-year numbers for Stouffville. We're going to start with what happened a year ago in February 2024, and we're going to start with the numbers. So if we look at February 2024 in Stouffville across all home types, 55 total home sales. And that's inclusive of townhouses, semis, detached, condos, absolutely everything. January 2025, 36 sales. February 2025, 25 sales. So every year, down in the number of sales. Again, not shocking based on what we're hearing in the media. You'd have to be living under a rock to not kind of know what's right now. Average sale price across all home types, $1,322,000 in February 2024. In January 5, $1,345,000, trending at $1,318,000. So again, got to keep in mind this is average sale price. I understand the overall number is down year over year, but it's going to get yanked depending on what's predominantly selling that month. So if you have more entry-level homes, maybe smaller condos, or you have, more farms, homes sort of thing. So that number is going to get pulled around. So again, if you're comparing average to average, yes, the numbers are down over year. The SNLR stands for new listings ratio, and it tells us out of the homes that came on the market each month, that month, what is percentage of them that are selling. So 49% of the homes that came on the market in February a year ago sold. 40% of the homes that came on the market in January 2025 sold. Currently in February, 27% of the homes that came on the market sold. So that means the balance were unsold. So if you are thinking about listing your home, you got to ask yourself this question. With the current SNLR being at 27%, how are you going to be one of those 27%? Because if you're not, we're going to talk about the next that. And the next is months of inventory remaining. So if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate of buying or current rate of consumption, how long would it take to completely deplete the inventory? So a year ago, low inventory, 1.5 months of inventory, not as low as maybe we saw in previous years where we were down to a couple of weeks of inventory, but compare that to what we have going forward, January 2025, 4.5 months of inventory. Currently in February 25, we have 7.2 months of inventory. And that should only build because as we get into February, now we're into March, we see that listing inventory of new listings tends to build. So, right now, if you're not that 27% that's selling, you go into that 7.2 months of inventory. So pricing right now for sellers is absolutely key. So for buyers, you should be paying attention to what's out there. And I'm not talking about affordability. I'm not talking about any of that nonsense. But not that it's nonsense, but I'm just saying, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm not talking about tariffs. I'm not talking about anything. But if you are in the market to buy, there is so much inventory out there right now that there is no excuse other than your own trepidation. There is so much stuff to look at. And it's just a matter of getting into houses. And I always say this to people, offering. All people can say is no. You never know a seller's motivation. You just don't know until you put it on paper. I've had so many agents here that come to you when you have a listing and they're like, well, do you think your clients will accept X? Or do you think your clients are? No, nonsense. Put it on paper and send it in. All they can say is no. You got to remember, buyers and sellers, real estate's just a game of tennis. You're just hitting the ball over the net, and we want to get that ball hit back to us so we can serve it again, right? That's what we're looking to do. So with that aside, I'm going to move on. Sale price to list price ratio, home selling a year ago, 101% of asking, so just over asking. January 2025, home selling under asking at 96%, currently trending at 100%. So there are homes selling over asking, especially in a town like Stouffville. But as far as where the stats are, 100% of asking. So we're not necessarily seeing that. It's not the predominant anymore to see homes being crazy underlisted to their actual value and then go over asking. It's more so happening on an organic. Multiple offers organically, if you will. On market to get a homes 24 a year ago, 45 in January, currently trending at 22. Now, the thing is, you got to bear in mind is this is what it took to get that. This stat is what now there's another number out there so this is the sold days on market. But if that house had been listed for 8 months last year, right, it's going to go into the listing days on market. So the Toronto Real Estate Board now tracks both of those. And so that's a much longer number than 22, as you can probably imagine. So this number only focuses on what it took to get that particular house sold under that listing contract. So if you have any questions about how this information would work as in conjunction with your particular Stouffville home or home type, feel free to shoot me a DM and I'd be happy to chat with you further.